Get ready for a wild ride to the moon. That is what one analyst is saying about a specific cryptocurrency. We also have some really interesting inflow data from Bitcoin. It's looking pretty good. We also have to talk about a few other things that are happening in the market. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. Right now, Bitcoin is coming down slightly under 69,000. Which, I keep on saying this, but I think a lot of people are getting bored right now. A lot of people see us just fluctuating in this kind of triangle here. If I were just to draw a line, we're kind of just going like this, right? Smaller and smaller deviations or smaller and smaller price changes, but that's not going to last forever. I think things are going to get interesting here very soon. If you don't mind, like I said, you can hit subscribe so you can see future videos when things get really explosive. This is kind of the calm before the storm. Also, if you do want to trade, there's going to be a link to Margex underneath the video where you can trade cryptocurrency assets. In just a few seconds, you can get this set up. Also, there's a link to CoinW underneath the video, another platform where you can trade, and they're doing a deposit bonus. So if you deposit $100, you get 100 USDT, $1,000, you get 300 USDT, and you can use this to trade and take out the profits. That's how it works. Now, the numbers that are coming out right now from the ETFs are very bullish. Okay, some people will probably say, well, the numbers continue. We continue to see more and more buying, but the price isn't really moving. We'll talk about why that is here in a second. But first, let's go through some of the numbers. So we had $1 billion in volume from IBIT, 200 million from GBTC, 261 million from FBTC. So what do the inflows look like? Well, GBTC was the first one reporting today with $0. Starting off pretty strong because usually GBTC obviously is the major ETF that has outflows consistently. Apologize if you can hear the dog in the background. Apparently we're getting a package or something. Then BITB had 14 million. From there we had ARCB with 11 million, HODL with 2 million, BTCW with 1 million. If we get further down, IBIT just had $0, but FBTC had 77 million. Then we do have a couple more ETFs to report. Hong Kong also came in and swooped in to buy a little bit of Bitcoin at Hong Kong's 456 Bitcoin in total for 2,000 Bitcoin scooped up by the ETFs. Keep in mind, tomorrow, let me shut the door here real quick, but tomorrow we have the first day of Australia. This is the new ad introducing kind of this Bitcoin ETF.
Bitcoin is like racing. It's not for everyone. Some people are in it for the thrills, some want to leave a legacy, some do it as an investment for their future. When you're ready to take your investments to the next level, you might want to consider monitoring.
Much like regulations in motorsports, the monochrome Bitcoin ETF provides investors with a regulated and licensed pathway into the cryptocurrency market.
Motorsport can be highly volatile. It's a calculated game of risk versus reward. To manage these risks, there are regulations such as window nets and seatbelts.
Okay, I won't play the whole thing for you. We just played about a minute there. But they're going to start advertising. They're going to start getting AUM as well. The UK is doing that. Hong Kong is doing that. Australia, the US, Canada. There are a lot of nations where you can start buying Bitcoin ETFs. What's interesting to me is we continue to see this, where IBIT has a 0 day, FBTC has a big day, or FBTC has a 0 day and IBIT has a monster day. I don't know. It seems a little bit odd. There are a couple things I think are odd. I've seen some people explain the first thing, but it still doesn't really make sense. IBIT trades $1 billion in a day. And there's not a difference of $1 million between buys and sells. It seems odd to me. Of course, some of this could be just people day trading, right? They buy and they sell every single day. But it seems so odd to me that, I don't know, 30-40% of the time, or 30-40, maybe 30 to 40% of the ETFs each day have zero inflows or outflows, but they have trading volume. We're talking about $1 billion here, over $1 billion, and not 1 million difference between the buys and sells. Just seems odd. That's the odd thing, number one. The other odd thing is just what I said before, which is we'll have a big day from one ETF and then a nothing day from another. It does seem like some kind of structuring where they go back and forth buying so that they don't cause a price spike, so that they don't cause maybe short liquidations where it shoots up the price so it becomes more expensive for them to buy. I don't know. Seems really odd to me. Let me know your theories on that down below. Invest Answers says, don't hate the player, hate the game. If Metcalfe's law holds true, which is basically just that as a network grows, it becomes exponentially more valuable. He says, we're in for a wild ride to the moon. Specifically, pointing out Solana. This shows the daily active addresses for Solana going up over time, while Bitcoin and Ethereum actually tick down. Keep in mind, if a lot of people buy the Bitcoin ETFs, there might be less active addresses. Now, I don't think that's probably the case over time. I think it will still climb slightly. But with more people investing through the ETFs, that's definitely going to take away from the network, right? If you want to go buy Bitcoin some other way, you'd probably have an active address, right? Now, Ethereum continues to tick down almost in lockstep with Bitcoin, but Solana continues to move up. Keep in mind, too, as network fees get higher, as more and more people use a monetary system like this, and we know Ethereum and Bitcoin get exponentially more expensive, it might be harder for most people to be able to pay those fees. But Solana is very cheap. So, yeah, Invest Answer saying that things are going to be wild here soon with Solana. I have, a decent bag of Solana, so I would be very happy with that. Then a couple last things. I heard that E-Trade may be kicking off Roaring Kitty from their trading system. If you didn't follow what's happened over the last 24 hours, I posted this morning, but he has a $170 million, $160 million position on GME. He posted it. This includes options and shares. GME went up 35% today. So they're considering kicking him off for market manipulation. Yet Nancy Pelosi, other politicians make millions of dollars trading with insider information. They know what governments are going to do. They know what companies are doing because they're working with companies or regulating companies. They make millions of dollars, and this is fine. They actually know information that's not public information, and they're still allowed to do this. Yet someone can go post their trade why they are bullish on a certain asset, say they're not a financial advisor, they're not giving financial advice. He even says that it's a YOLO position, and yet he gets in trouble for it or gets kicked off a platform for it. Yeah, this is the world we live in. This is why we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin fixes situations like this. It can give you freedom. And if you want to learn some more about Bitcoin and maybe become a little bit more bullish, I know not everyone loves Michael Saylor. I think this is a very good podcast. I'm only about 40% of the way through it. This is actually the Graham Stephan's Iced Coffee Hour. He just published this yesterday. I'm going to watch this whole thing. Then I'm probably going to listen to it again. And maybe a third time. I think this is fantastic. And Michael Saylor goes into more depth than he even usually does, right? They're like 20, 25 minutes in between questions some of the time. But I think it's a masterclass. And if you have a little bit of extra time, if you're doing some work in your yard or you have a long commute or something, listen to this. It's really good. Okay? Also, again, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link to Margex and to CoinW underneath the video. Thank you so much. Let me know your thoughts on the Bitcoin ETFs. Let me know if you think the Australian ETFs are going to be a big deal or kind of a nothing burger. Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you so much. By the way, we are revamping HGAaccess, which gives you some information on what we're seeing in the market, trade signals, all that kind of stuff. There's a link to that underneath the video as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.